Right? All right, sorry. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Fade, the podcast. What's going on? I'm Glenn.
Eastwood.
Oh, you guys did it at the same time.
That's Eastwood.
That's Eastwood. That's D. Cruz. Hi, I'm Glenn. All right. Yo, hey, why don't you tell us who we have today?
Oh, man.
Someone very special.
We got the artist extraordinaire, Damon Davis in the building. Far-Fetched Entertainment. This dude right here.
Yes, sir. That's cool. I like that.
Just a legend, man. You like that one? He's just a legend, man. From many things. I don't know if you're not familiar. He has the documentary Whose Streets, one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and I'm slightly biased because one of my best friends shot it, man. So it's good to have him here, and we're gonna chop it up for him.
Yeah, I'm really excited you're here, man. Thank you.
That's what's up.
So I have a question then. My first one is how, or what rather, like what do you know that moment where it clicked for you to make the documentary, like? What's that moment where you're like, I have to do something?
In the beginning, I wasn't out there. I didn't go out there with no camera. I was just pissed like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But I think it was when I was watching how it was getting played on like CNN and MSNBC, and even the left-leaning people was still not telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be out and be somewhere and see something, and then you go home and turn on the news, and they'll tell you how it happened, and it'll be a completely different way. And then that's when I started to learn. I started to realize what the news was. The news ain't the truth. It's somebody else telling the way they want to see it. They telling their side.
Facts.
Yeah. So it's like, well, I guess we need to make one then. We need to tell our side of the story. And I was real apprehensive about working with somebody that wasn't from St. Louis, like that wasn't from around. But I ended up working with my homegirl Sabah, because I was looking for, they was looking for me. People was telling them to find me because I got a little name for being an artist in the shit. But I was trying to get footage so I could make my own. And since I wasn't shooting, I had to find it. And her homeboy Lucas, who ended up being our videographer, the full-time cinematographer for the film, I was talking to him and I met them, and then we decided to work together on it. And then that's when we started rolling. But I think it was a gradual thing.
Right.
Deciding when to do it, but it was also like when didn't nobody go to fucking jail, I knew that somebody from here needed to make a movie. So I think that's when it was like yeah, it's time to go figure it out, figure out the money, figure all of that out.
Right.
And yeah, so like we started production where it was our complete team like January, like 2 months after everything. We started. We was just like, all right, now we finna make a movie.
I remember back then though, man. It was still like really a fresh, like feel to the city at that time.
Yeah.
Like I was going to the school, that EI school that Nelly had, right? And I can remember we had I saw a picture of you and Tef Poe.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with all the guys at Doorway and Nick and all them. So me and Nick are really good buddies, and then Monk and everybody over there, and Artie, all them. They're great dudes, good friends. And so I was going to the school there, and I can remember he came and performed, and it was like not too long after he wrote that song, Mike Brown. It was
I know he did the song Gas Man, and then he did a diss track to the government and shit. That's the first time I heard a nigga diss an official. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I just remember seeing like everything that happened and all that. It just how it affected everybody and how just
there's a lot of emotion, bro.
Absolutely.
So what was the so if you was down there during that time, man, which it was really intense, man. For anybody who's not from this area, like that was worldwide right there. Man. And during that time when it was all messed up, man, my man's had the hands up, man, put them all together across the building, and modestly that picture is in the Smithsonian. I just like to say,
is it really?
One of the boys, awesome. The boys from the Ferguson Mart. That like I had to like dude was trying to sell me that shit. I was like, man, I put this shit up here. You don't want when I I went back and it was sitting outside like after they took the boys down. I was like, man, I put this up here. You don't want this. He was like, all right, take it. Like all right. So then I kept it, and then later on my homegirl knew the people at the Smithsonian that was trying to gather the different artifacts. So that and two other things I did. I worked on a casket, a mirrored casket with a bunch of other artists, and that went. And I was like, shout out to my homegirl D. Nichols, Mallory, Elizabeth Vega. It was a lot of people, a lot of artists involved in that. And then I was also, I helped organize the when they did Ferguson October. I was one of the organizers of that, and I guess I got put as point person for the rally. So I couldn't get the printer to work the night before, so I wrote the set list out. And so I gave them the set list, and that's in the Smithsonian too.
How did that feel?
I mean, I don't know, like, you know.
Not so much from the standpoint of, oh, that's something you did, but more the standpoint that your story and the real story is kind of going to be enshrined.
I don't know if that's even the truth either. Like, you know, when I'm gone, like a artifact.
It could always change.
Yeah, man. People find fucking pyramids and and they say that aliens did. Like, nah, some people did that shit. And since you can't figure it out, you gonna give credit to the aliens and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like time will tell how people remember. But that was the reason for making that movie immediately, because when shit is still fresh on your mind, you need to get that out, and you need to tell the point from the people's point of view.
It's a great documentary, man. I remember it again, like maybe it's when it's your people that's doing it, but I remember watching it because I kept waiting, like, man, where can I see it? Where can I see it? Where can I see it? And then he's like, man, check on Hulu. So I put in the Hulu. First day, I'm like, this shit ain't here. I was mad.
Yeah.
So the next day, when I cut it on, I'm like, oh, it's there. So again, I shared a vision with the Most High, cut it on, watched the documentary, and it was so crazy because even being from the area, it was shit that I didn't know.
Bro.
It's like, but I'm watching it really happen, and I'm like, damn, this is why. So I think a lot of people. So the movie isn't about Mike Brown. That's what a lot of people get confused. It's actually about what was going on during that time.
It's about the people that came out for him.
It was so many lives, bro. And if you see the documentary, because this is live footage, and if you know it, then you actually realize that like people really had a reason to be mad. It wasn't just about an unarmed black kid getting killed. It was like a lot of bullshit.
It was about everything that was going on.
And they wonder why people
and not just that instance, but a lot of them, all of them. You know
exactly. And it was, and another main reason why we did this because everybody talking, they the way they talk about us, like thugs and looters and shit like that. Nah, nigga, it was college professors out there with me. It was women that had to go, that was RNs that had come out, go to work. Come out there all night, go wake their kid up, drop their kid off, go to work and come back out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was real people with real, like, it was this idea that nobody had nothing to do. That's why they was protesting. And it's just, it's an old tool of, like, power structures to, I guess, delegitimize what people, the anger that people got. And so it was important to make sure that people understood.
They had to steer everybody a certain way.
Yeah, you know? It's okay to be mad. You
should be mad. It was a really bad narrative, man, and like I educate myself on a lot of things, man. I make sure I know. But like honestly, when I watched the documentary and I seen things, I was like, damn, I'm not as educated as I know. You have to be there to see it.
I was learning that shit as we was making that shit. It's something to how you treat people, and it was a real colonial way of looking at it. Like motherfuckers that don't live in them neighborhoods come in and tell you what to do. They locking you up, your daddy up. At one point, it was 3 fucking warrants to a house in Ferguson. That mean can't nobody go outside. Niggas can't walk to the gas station and get chips without worrying about, you know, like that's some real. That's some occupation shit.
Yeah, you know
like
somebody's circling the block looking for him.
Yeah, that's traumatic.
And people don't see that like
trauma. And then you wonder why niggas pissed, and you wonder why like niggas is depressed. You wonder why people was like that. That's systematically laid out for that to be
absolutely.
Like that.
And you shouldn't get that feeling that you get when you're driving or walking
in your neighborhood
and feel. Or see a cop behind you,
like you literally gonna die.
I personally haven't felt like that because I'm super white. I get that. But I do get nervous as hell.
You're so white, you red.
I'm so white. I
tell them every week.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I'm light skinned.
that is the truth.
But that's true, man. It's a very crazy feeling. But like just from that whole situation, that movement. And I'm just moving forward a little bit. I watched my man's like catapult into like the artistry, everything that came along with that, man. Because like my man, what's Peter Parker, Uncle, man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Uncle Ben.
You know, Uncle Ben. And then he took that and he ran with it, man. And it's like I'm looking Rolling Stones. And the Rolling Stone got an article on Rolling Stone magazine. TED TV, the TED Talks. You know, I'm watching all of this. I'm like, damn. bro really doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching views, watching everything. I'm seeing like the art. What was the first show? The Darker Gods?
Yeah.
Oh
That was a
God.
big deal for me. That was my first solo show where I had some space. I had some shit to move. But I've been working on that shit for like 3 years, you know. Like I said,
around
like
St. Louis?
Yeah, it was in it was on Cherokee in this place called the Luminary, a gallery out there.
Right. Shit
So
was beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And you know, when I popped up, I'm like, you know I'm gonna support, bro. Like, yeah, that's nothing. But when I walked in and like
way back, didn't
I seen the like all of the art, I said, okay, this dude, man, shit. He got work for days, man. It's just a beautiful thing and constantly just constantly elevate, man. You know, like we link up all the time, man, and every time it's always a good thing. Just like right now, he's here because at any time, if I'm like, hey, bro, I got an idea, I'm trying to do something, man. 100%, my bro. Like, hey, I support that, man. Let me know what I can do to help you. You know what I'm saying? Just like I feel with everything he does, man, because it's art, man, and it's so good, man. I like the actual art. And what was the second one you did?
I did the last show I had in St. Louis was I did this Negrophilia, and I was doing those. I was doing those during first, and it was like they like little pieces that I did. They kind of like I was just doing them when I would come back. Whatever I heard, and whatever I saw, the shit I was thinking about, it was like little therapy things I was doing, and so I ended up with like 130 of them. And so we did a show with Onsu. Was the last show I did. But yeah, man, I've been grinding for a long time. Like this man known me for at least what 10, 15, something like that. So it ain't. It
one
ain't
of my favorite rappers too.
Yeah, it ain't just pop up. You feel what I'm saying?
Right,
And so that's the one thing about even when I hear somebody that I know fuck with me say catapulted, and because of that I get uneasy about that because it wasn't
like you woke up after
and it also wasn't like oh shit niggas getting shot, I better go out here and do something to get it's my time
directly involved with it.
But I did meet some motherfuckers that came out there specifically for coming
to fuck some shit up.
Like,
hey,
did you really start getting out there like as far as art? It's like doing music covers or what?
Well, yeah. Like honestly, through rapping, that's how I learned all my skills. So like, nobody made beats. I had to learn how to make beats, and nobody know how to direct videos. I had to learn how to do that, and nobody know how to do Photoshop. And so I ended up picking all that up, and now. Like hip hop, like that for real. When niggas say hip hop saved their life, that's something I can attest to that. That shit gave me a purpose and gave me an outlet. And some of like other people that grew up with us, they didn't have that, and so they ended up in different places.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Man, I know that's what me and him were talking when we did the first episode and just talking with each other is like having that outlet. You know, because I play music as well, and then we were talking about how we came up, but then we had that moment where it was hard to deal with certain things, and instead of just, I feel like you probably wouldn't be able to deal without having that outlet therapeutically with your art, right? Yeah. And I ended up self-medicating and ended up getting into drugs really bad and had to overcome that, and really if I would have just stuck with what I loved, instead of worrying about what everybody wanted me to do, I probably would have been a whole lot better. So I ended up, just pushing down just years and years of emotions that I didn't really know how to deal with unless it was like writing a song.
It's hard, man.
You know what I mean?
When you take that away from yourself, man, that shit's hard, man. Like, and you're not making music and you're not doing it, man.
Just something, not just creating something or being creative in any aspect. You know what I mean?
Frankly, that's what separate. That's what separate a professional artist from everybody else. They don't give up. Right. That's what separates a loser from a winner. A winner keep playing till he wins. And so like when you a little kid, everybody a fucking artist. You start off, everybody's drawing and all of that. And then motherfuckers fall off. I just kept going. You know?
We used to like back in the day, man, like we used to do these shows, and you know how you was talking to your man was like, man, they was in another group, and then we just start piggybacking off each other and start doing shows.
Swapping.
That's actually how we met. This was like years ago, man, and I think it was like the Red Sea or some shit like that.
Sea.
As soon as you know the story, I have a really good one.
We was turning this shit down, man. It's like 30 groups there, man, doing this shit.
Hey, look, this might. Can I ask you a question? Was it like an underground rap battle night with a guy named Noodles?
No, but I know Noodles though.
So then if you know him, then you'll laugh at this story. So my band's just coming up. We're still doing kind of like the Oyster Bar. That's actually where I met him. So we're playing in smaller areas, right?
Yeah.
Right, but I love that place. I'm actually playing there in January and February. But we were playing, and he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I promote shows, I do comedy shows, I do rap shows, blah blah." He's like, "I really love what you guys do. You know, you should book some gigs, some shows with me." So we're like, "Yeah, cool, man, whatever. We'll take anything at this. You know, I mean, we're just trying to play as much as we can, you know." And so he's like, "Hey, come to the Red Sea." And we're like, "All right, cool." So we didn't ask any like detail about the show, and I mean like as white as I am, so are the other four dudes in my group.
Yeah, I ended up at
So hang on, so we end up in the basement of the Red Sea with all of our gear, and I'm talking like loud, like we have stuff that is loud in a big space like the pageant, you know what I mean, and like. He puts us in the basement, bro, and it's a rap battle that's going off, and he's like, "No, I want you guys to open and play like your whole set." So we're looking at each other and we're like, "Oh my god, dude, what did we just get ourselves into?" You know what I mean? Hey, we had that place jumping by the end of the set. Now, to be fair, we also did a whole lot of like, thank God we knew a bunch of like '90s like hip hop and R&B covers. So, because that's what our sets went from. So that's what we just did. We just did a whole bunch of them.
Man, because usually, man,
because we were doing our set and it was going all right, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna have to just So that's what we did. So I was like, "Fuck it, let's just have fun, guys."
Yeah, we're gonna let you know.
So it ended up being one of the like most fun times that we had. You know what I mean? It was just interesting because we're just like we didn't come out tonight anticipating being.
I'm doing your thing.
Because I think what happened is we were supposed to play upstairs, but we were so loud. They were like, "You guys are gonna have to go downstairs and play."
Because the upstairs and shit, I think
it used to be the restaurant. Yeah, it was way smaller, and you wouldn't expect the basement to feel like the dungeon that it was, but it had such a weird, it's a cool vibe to it.
Hey,
it turned out to be super awesome though.
This time was it was MySpace time.
Oh yeah,
that's a specific era, man.
Us too, bro.
So I didn't know them yet, man. And I'm telling you, like,
MySpace, 225,000 on MySpace.
We're young.
We were going,
like literally like. We just can get beers type shit. Yeah. And I remember I sent him a message, man, and like my group was pretty big and we ain't fuck with a lot of people.
Right.
So I sent him a message and I was like, "Hey bro," you know what I'm saying, who I was, we was at the show, I said, "Hey man, y'all shit is hard, bro." I'm like, "Look, we gotta fuck with each other, man. We gotta come through, whatever, do our thing." And I ended up going over his crib, Freedom.
Yeah.
Way back, man. And ever since, that was so long ago, back when he had the dreads down to the floor. Man, and like ever since then, it was good.
It was pretty long. It wasn't down to the floor like here. He talking like I was Maxi Priest and shit. It wasn't popping like that.
But I know he was the first.
When I shut them motherfuckers off, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Dread, man. That Damon Marley. But when I cut him, I was like, damn, my neck's strong as motherfucker. It was like, oh, that shit was heavy.
That's funny. We're used to it.
Yeah.
So awesome. what you got going on now? What's the next? Because I know you just you had another short film that you just shot.
Yeah, recently. I did a short film and I got to do a residency in Ghana, and that was wild. I got to be there for a month, and so I shot a short film there, and it's got into a few festivals. It was in the Black Star Film Festival in Philadelphia, and the Nantucket Film Festival. So it was completely different audiences, because that's rich motherfuckers out there on a little island, you know. But I
respect the art.
Yeah, I couldn't even afford to go out to that joint. They just had it up in there. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Let me know how it goes. If somebody like it, tell me, hit me up.
So, hey, how was that last residency out in was it?
Iowa, bro. Yeah,
how was that?
I did a residency at this school called Grinnell College, and that was cool. They, you know, I'm still getting used to people like, I be like, yo, I just wanna build a motherfucking 30-foot tall cake. They be like, all right, cool. Just give me a list of shit and we go get it. And I'm like, all right, you know, like I just come up with I'm like, what? So that's how that was. It was just like, yo, these motherfuckers really want to see, like
they want to see.
Yeah. I got a show there. In January that's opening up. I got a show in LA. I'm starting to get into bigger like public work, like public sculpture. So I did this 10-foot statue that's we working on the fabrication now. So that's gonna be in conjunction with this movie that's being released called Just Mercy. It's about Brian Stevenson. He's like a legendary civil rights lawyer. He got a bunch of niggas off with death row. And my homeboy, he runs a company called Trap Hills. Damon Turner, so we got a podcast called Damon and Damon.
That's
so
awesome.
he also
Shit's awesome, man.
yeah, so he runs this label called this company called Trap Hills, which does activations around, I guess, social issues. And so yeah, we building a big ass greenhouse, 20-foot tall greenhouse, and putting the statue in there. Also, yeah, it's getting to a point where I'm getting a dream, you know, and do stuff. And another thing that I like to get clarified for people, just because some shit got built, don't mean that you got hella money for it. Just because of money, like that movie got made, motherfuckers thought I was in a new tax bracket. They took them taxes. The tax man came and got his, but it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, it wasn't. Life don't. So I know life changed to Cape Town and Johannesburg, but yeah. So that was one thing, but going to West Africa is a different thing, right? Because South Africa is still run by white folks. You feel what I'm saying? That's still like a colony, especially Cape Town. Being in Ghana though was it was a completely different thing. Everybody is black. Everybody is like and I don't know. Like I grew up here. I went to school in Belleville. I went to all white school. So it's like you've always been the other. You know, but to be in a place where everybody looks like
culture
you,
shock.
Yes, it was like everybody
real
looks like
culture
me.
shock.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's nuts.
And it was amazing, and it was like,
That's
yo,
crazy.
nigga, like,
That's
so
crazy.
somebody is paying me to make things. You know, like when it's a realization, like,
Yeah, bro.
I've been doing this shit my whole life, and now it's a job. It has become a job. And people come, like when I get to like even with this, but like people like I'm going to do. I'm speaking at Missouri State for I'm the Black History keynote. Like I'm a like I don't even got gray hair, nigga. Like and I'm the keynote speaker at a college to talk about Black history. It's amazing, and it's fucking amazing. And it's like niggas is want me here, and all I'm doing is talking about my life. Motherfuckers is sitting here listening to me talk about my life. It's outrageous to me. Like honestly, like I feel super fucking blessed for it. Like that. And it ain't. I'm not rich. I don't want $1 billion. I don't want that shit. Honestly, I don't want all of the shit that come along with.
What would you do if you did have $1 billion?
I would give it away. I would give a lot of it away. To be quite frank with you, because there's a lot of people that you don't. First of all, you don't get $1 billion by being a philanthropist. You gotta keep money. You gotta hoard money.
Right.
And this story.
Dig a hole in the ground.
And that's
and leave
another
it
funny
there.
thing that this story of like these people's doing so much good. Right on, and it's I gotta being an artist, you have a weird relationship with philanthropy, especially art organizations, because them people is the reason why you got museums and all of that. But for what you did to get all of that money, that doesn't fix those problems. So I think it's just an honest conversation we need to have about that. When it's like if you got $1 billion fucking dollars, you dropping $3 million, nigga, that's literally, I keep that on me. Like, that's how much, that's pocket change.
Right,
you got $1 billion. You know how much money that is for an individual to have?
Person.
Like, that,
How are you
like
gonna spend all
countries don't
that?
have that shit.
How are you gonna spend all of that?
You're not never gonna spend it
That's
all.
what I mean.
And one thing, that lady, the lady that wrote Harry Potter, she the first billionaire to give the money away until she wasn't a billionaire anymore.
She gave a lot of it away.
Yeah, and even with Bill Gates, like he got dumb money, but he doing a lot of good shit. But like, it's just a weird relationship.
I think
to money.
I think the best way I've heard something like that being talked about. I don't know if you know who Eric Thomas is.
Nah.
He's actually the #1 motivational speaker in the
That's
world.
that dude with the dude to be hollering
The
at
hip-hop
everybody.
preacher,
Yeah.
So he said that, you know, because he comes from being homeless in Detroit and just the hood and just a rough town, and then he kind of had a shift in perception and realized that, you know, whenever he was getting around these people that were, I had this common misconception that it was wrong to want to be rich, that they were bad because I was so blue collar.
Yeah.
But then whenever he saw the people that had the money that were doing good with it, it made him realize what exactly how bigger his stretch and reach could be for the people that he's trying to help out. You know, because he's, you know,
it's definitely a nuance
very
around
involved
it,
in
man.
it. You know, and which I think is great, and I think that that's like another driving force.
Yeah.
Like if you know that you can give back, I mean, and then you have that kind of means to actually make a difference.
That's when, we talking about two different things, because most people want money.
They just want. That's what he said. You don't want to go for money. He's like, have passion,
Yeah.
and then want to help and give back.
Because wealth ain't just money. like resources. Like I could call this nigga and get a haircut when I need, like you feel what I'm saying? Like relationships is more important than money.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? Because if you know the motherfuckers with the money, they'll break you off.
That gives you
that gives you be rich when you got rich friends.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Relationships is what the world is built on. Because another thing, when your ass gets sick and all that money don't, like, who gonna be around you? If it was all about money, nobody ain't gonna, you gonna be by yourself with a bunch of fucking money.
You travel a little bit, maybe, you know, and have the food.
And you might
be
but
you're still, you know. I get that shit away too, right?
Yeah, I would give a lot. I mean, I would give a lot of it away. But I know. Also, I come from poverty. I'm not gonna be broke. No more. Like it's another thing about cold. Now the world is just like either or. Mm-hmm. Like you know what I mean? Like either you did, but that's not how life works. Mm-hmm. Like I got a lot of friends in the activist realm that are avid anti-capitalists. That does not mean they don't need jobs and shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like capitalism. That's a bigger conversation. We can talk about that forever. But I'm saying like the ideas around money, I think is what fucks people up. Is that money gonna make you happy? Like just the sheer.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what people should be chasing.
I always talk about it too. I always talk about happiness is like a choice that you make. It's perspective.
Sometimes some people got problems.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, but that's what I try to get people to understand. If I ever talk to them and they're really pessimistic. Like, yo, man, you have a choice to either be grateful for what you do have, and find, you know, the brighter side of things in everything that you do, or, you know.
I'm gonna say you could be grateful, and so, and from where I stand, sometimes when people say that, that's a place of privilege, because you know what I mean. You got a choice about being happy. Yeah. But if you've been broke your whole motherfucking life, if you've been fighting your entire life. Sometimes, bro, like some shit ain't inside of you. You feel what I'm saying? Like some shit ain't just me looking in the mirror.
It's like
they put a boot on my car. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like
everything just keeps happening. Yeah, I know. I've been there, man.
It's okay to be in your feelings too, man.
Remember, it's 9:27.
Oh yeah,
so
you gotta get going still.
We kept going. All right, well, let's end it up.
Well, let's wrap it up. This motherfucker didn't even hit me up either.
That's cool. We gotta get her on.
You had
to come back. Hang on, let me close out with you real quick. Thank you again for joining us on the Fade, the podcast. I want to send a shout out. Thank you to Empire Barbershop. Dave, tell them where the address is.
7624 West Main.
That's right, 7624 West Main in Belleville. If you need your stuff cut, my guys got you. Warren G sitting on the couch doing fade joke real nice. I promise. And then we got to thank STL Philly Wagon, home of the Super Philly, so big it wears a cape. You got to cut it in half. And then beatsbywish.com. Check that out if you need any tracks at all. It's a Grammy-nominated producer, Wishmaster. Thank you for making the tracks for us. And lastly, Knucklehead Custom Art LLC. That's my man Dan over there. Gave us the logo. He can do anything for you guys. Hit him up. Very affordable. And before we go, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. It was really nice to meet you. Also, we need to send some love to Chad from Maryville Boxing Club. He dislocated his knee the other day. His knee was over here. So he was talking about doing all them fights, and he's going to have some sit-down time to kind of get his mind right. So we're sending you all the love, bro. We hope you get better. Rest up easy. We'll see you next.
How can we find you, bro?
Tell them everything. That's what I meant to.
So Instagram is just my name, Damon Davis. That's probably the easiest way to keep up with me. My website with all of my artwork is heartacheandpaint.com.
Nice, I like that.
And darkerguys.com. You can see all of that stuff there, and it all lead to each other.
Right. Yeah,
so
definitely.
Do you have stuff for sale that people can get? Or do you do any? If people hit you up, will you do pieces for them individually, or you
it depends. It depends, because I don't usually do commissions. It has to be a special thing. But I trust me, I got a stockpile of shit.
Right.
So if you're looking for something like merch, you could go to Darker Guys, or you could go to Heartache and Paint, and it's a link to the store. Farfetched.net too. We are farfetched.net. That's the label.
All right, and then make sure you check out his podcast, Damon.
Damon.
Absolutely. Maybe we can come on there and mess it up.
Yeah,
and have a conversation with you guys.
You might just have to come do one.
That's fine. Come do that. We'll cross promote, baby. Little what do they call that?
Yeah, that
crossover.
Promote.
Yeah, crossover. That's exactly when they do the two shows together. Is it a crossover? What is that?
Oh yeah, like Law and Order with
the Simpsons, the Family Guy. Yeah.
What's up?
All right, man. Thank you guys so much. It's the Fade.
In the make, yeah. Yeah.